What is the big issue with this quarantine and pandemic that if it's prolonged, what are the big issues and the big issue that is going to affect many people around the world? Besides the obvious of more deaths and more confirmed cases, the big issue that a lot of people aren't really talking about, news media, the government, is the longer that this pandemic and quarantine is prolonged, the more effects it's going to have on regular people like you and I. You might have already seen that your family members, your friends, colleagues, they lost their jobs, and by losing their jobs, what's the effect that that's going to happen to them and the people around them? Just last week, 7 days ago, 3.5 million people filed for unemployment, a record number that every other time in history has never even came close. And if you calculate every time in history, those combined numbers has never reached 3.5 million people, and that number is just going to get higher and higher and higher. And the result of people losing their jobs and file for unemployment is they're not going to be able to pay their mortgage payments, their car payments, credit cards, and essentially they're going to lose everything that they worked so hard to achieve. The banks are going to take back the homes. They're going to sell those in foreclosures. Car companies, dealerships are going to repo their cars. Credit card companies are going to file for collections, and it's just going to be a big mess that media and government outlets aren't really talking about. And that's the big issue that I see as a regular human being just like you, that people aren't really talking about, is that people are going to be losing their livelihoods all across the world. And that's the real big issue that I see with this pandemic. If it prolongs longer than the recommended 1 month that we are all going to be stuck in quarantine. So the reason why I'm making this video is to go back to the first video that I made for you guys, is to adhere to the CDC guidelines. Make sure that you stay home as often as possible. Make sure that if you go out, that you only go out for essential stuff, grocery shopping, exercise, and make sure that you stay at minimum 6 feet away from people, and that you do not invite people to your homes. You do not go to other people's houses and mingle as if this does not affect you. And to be honest, it might not affect you, but then it'll affect more people than you might realize. And I'm staying at home because I don't want to prolong this quarantine longer than it should, because I know the ramifications that it's going to have on majority of people in the world. People are already losing their livelihoods. People are already losing their homes. People already lost their jobs, as evidence of the 3.5 million people that filed for unemployment. And this is just a follow-up video of the video that I made for you previously. And I'm a young guy, and I'll be honest, the virus is not going to affect me. The virus mainly affects older people with medical problems. Essentially, if you're over 60 years old and you have a respiratory problem or any health problems, then you are the most at risk to getting very severely ill or even dying with COVID-19. But as a human being, as a resident of San Francisco Bay Area, as a person that lives in the greatest country in the world, I see so many people are already affected financially and emotionally with the virus. And the longer that this goes on, the more that they will be affected and the more other people will be affected. And that's the reason why I'm making these videos, is just to spread awareness and to remind every single one of you that we are all in this together. As human beings, as citizens of the greatest country in the world, we are all in this together. So make sure that you adhere to the guidelines of the CDC, social distance as much as possible. Do not go out and mingle, stay home as much and as often as possible, and we will get through this together. I love you guys. See you in the next video. Take care. Peace.